Hey guys, what's up? Shin05T5 here, coming at ya with another video. And today's video, I want to talk about games you can play with one arm. So, actually what inspired this is my niece. She's about 6 years old. She actually broke her collarbone trying to do a cartwheel. And now she is stuck in a cast with her left arm kind of like wrapped up like this. And she's gonna be like that for probably a couple weeks. So, but what that made me think is she does play video games. Of course, she's my niece, so I'm definitely, anytime I hang out with her, we play something. But now, since her arm's all wrapped up, we have to find games she can play with one arm. And that made me think of this list. So I thought about games that you can play with one arm, and I didn't want to just cop out and just be like, oh, like the obvious choices. So things like visual novels or like turn-based strategy games that are super slow and wait for your input, those don't count. I want to think of like actual games you can play with one arm and still enjoy. So the first game I want to talk about is a game I recently made a video on, and that game is called Flower for PlayStation 3, Vita, and PlayStation 4. I do not know if it's out on PlayStation 5, but Flower. Flower is such a good game. I actually made a video talking about it earlier on my channel. You can go check that out. I'd appreciate that. But Flower is just such a good game, and it is a game you can play with one hand because it's so simple. Basically, you use the gyro controls on the controller to do all your navigation. So you take the controller, you kind of twist this way and that way and go up and down to access the menus and even play the game itself. And all you need to do is hit one button. And it could be any button on the face buttons, the shoulder buttons, any of those buttons. You just hold it down and the flower pedal will just start going forward, and then you just move the controller like this. Something you can definitely play with one hand, no problem at all. So that is the first game on the list, Flower. A great game too, so go check it out. So, second game I want to talk about is an obvious one, but that game would be Wii Sports for the Wii. Everyone's favorite, and I guess technically Switch Sports too. There's some games, and again, you can't play every game on Switch Sports, especially like boxing, but pretty much everything else you can play with one hand on the Wiimote, especially bowling. Bowling was my favorite game out of Switch Sports, and it still is today. Even on even Switch Sports, or Wii Sports and Switch Sports, bowling is my favorite out of all of them, and you can easily play it with one hand. Super good game. I think everyone's played this. But again, if you are stuck with one hand, Wii Sports is the way to go. Next game I want to talk about is actually Dragon Quest Sword for the Wii. God, the fucking glare on these lights, dude. Dragon Quest Sword on the Wii. This is another great game. Where, honestly, I can't say if it's great. I've seen reviews of this game and they're all fucking terrible. I've only played this game for about like 10 minutes to check if it works, so I can't really speak on the quality of the game itself, but I liked the 10 minutes I played of it. And one thing that surprised me is you play the entire game with one Wiimote. Like, you move around with like the D-pad on the Wiimote. The combat, you like actually swing the Wiimote left and right, and you can play this game entirely with one hand, no problem. So again, if I was ever in a situation where either I lost my arm or just could not use one arm, this would definitely be a game I'd play. I like RPGs, action, or this technically isn't action, I believe it's turn-based, but like it's kind of like a good RPG, and again, if I was down to one arm, I would definitely play through this game, just to give it a try, whether it's good or bad. I definitely would want to try this game out. So, but you can play it with one arm. The next game I want to mention is kind of, it's not this one in particular, but this is the only real version I have. But it's basically Sonic 1 and 2, but specifically Sonic 1 and 2 on the Sega Genesis collection on the PSP. I don't have that because I never had a physical version of that game. I bought it like digitally, so I don't have a physical one. And I don't think anyone has a physical version of that game. Everyone I've ever talked to who played it played the digital download version of it off like the PSN. I have yet to find a person that owns that game on a physical UMD. But with that being said, I just brought this one up as a placeholder. But basically, Sonic 1 and 2, you can actually play one-handed on the Genesis collection because it allows you to map the controllers. And basically, all you need to do is map the jump button to the L button, and you can beat Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. I have done it before. I used to have that game on my PSP, and I would take it to school, and I basically put the jump button on one hand, and I was able to get through all of Sonic 1 and all of Sonic 2 relatively no problem. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. It was a fun little challenge run I did. But yeah, you can completely beat those games. But pretty much any 2D Sonic game. I know there's a bunch of like Android-based retro handhelds now that allow you to play like Sonic Advance 1, the Sonic Advance games, any 2D Sonic game that you can map the controls where you just you have the D-pad and the L buttons jump. You could pretty much play every Sonic game that way. So Sonic 1 and 2 is a game you can definitely play one hand as long as you map the controller. And the last game I want to talk about is Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass for the DS. You could definitely play this game one-handed. The best way to play it one-handed, though, would be to put the DS on the table and kind of situate it where it doesn't kind of move around, because the majority of this game is played with the stylus. Almost all of it is. So you're basically, you have the stylus and you like draw where Link is gonna go. You slash on the screen to like attack. Everything is done on the touchpad itself. So if you were down with one arm, you could definitely play Phantom Hourglass. And I could say Phantom Hourglass is fucking awesome. It's one of my favorite Zelda games. Not the favorite. Wind Waker is my favorite. But this is actually kind of like a spiritual successor to Wind Waker in a little ways. Kind of like an off-direct sequel. But this game is fantastic. I love it. People don't talk about it enough. But Phantom Hourglass is definitely a game you can play one-handed, and a great one at that. So anyway, guys, those are the 5 games I want to talk about that you could play one-handed and really enjoy. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let me know what games you have that you could definitely play one-handed. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to get a list of all the one-handed games. So if ever I'm in the situation where I lose an arm or something, I know all the games I can play. So honestly, this is one of those where I definitely really want to hear from you guys. So I have that backup list. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.